Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up podcast. Burundi, we are done with the Frozen Frenzy. I'm not sure if they do more than one a year. I know they have more than one day a year where they have all the teams play, but every single team in the NHL played a couple days ago, and we got some good games out of it. I know a lot of people weren't very happy with the scheduling of it because I kind of think like wasn't the first game at like 3 p.m. or something our time?
Or 4 p.m. our time.
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre because I think was it on Tuesday they did it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure why they didn't save it for a Saturday or something, and then you can have games going from 11 a.m. to like 8 p.m.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what we talked about previously before we were kind of discussing the Frozen Frenzy is Tuesday's kind of the best way to do it if you want to get the most eyeballs on it. Just simply because with the NFL going on with, I mean, it's impossible to work around the MLB playoffs right now. But then also college football. So there's kind of just too many things that are on the go right now that would draw eyes away. Whereas, on a Tuesday, there's there's no NFL games being played. There's no
Right.
college football games there, so it makes it easier to get more eyeballs and more attention on the NHL and the games that are being played. If you were looking for a weekend to do it, you kind of got to wait until March.
Yeah, I guess because
And then it
really is
doesn't
too
really work
bad.
as well then.
It really is too bad how much the NFL dominates those weekend markets while their season is going. Like, even I saw the other day, even the World Series, a very close, very good series, like so fun to watch. And I think it was Game 4, like still got beat out by a decent margin by whoever was playing. It was like the Ravens versus somebody. Like, no matter what the stakes are for other stuff, it's just, is there a football game on? That's what people are watching. Like, it's like a pay-per-view every week.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing, right? Is football kind of does dominate the across the major sports in terms of viewership. And yeah, it's kind of because you know exactly when the games are going to be, exactly when it's all going to go down and happen. And so people kind of plan and prepare for that more so because it is just set times each week. And it's unfortunate for the NHL. They kind of do got to work around it. So that is kind of why Tuesday was the best to do it.
No, fair enough.
We got some pretty good games. Some milestones were hit over the last couple of days. We love some milestones. Some big signings have taken place. We got a little bit of other news. But I want to start off with something else here for you before we dive into the rest of kind of what's been going on over the last few days.
Okay.
So for anyone that hasn't listened to the last couple or whatever, we do have our top 50 current NHL players list coming out very soon, and it will only be on YouTube. So go to YouTube if you do want to see that at some time soon here.
I think it'll probably be coming out on the. I think I'm going to schedule it for the Saturday. So this episode coming out on Friday. Tomorrow it'll be up on the YouTube.
Perfect. There we go. And a couple plays we talked about were kind of some risers. We talked about some fallers on our list from last season, and we talked about some players that maybe at the time were underappreciated, undervalued, maybe underrated. That's always a conversation. Sports fans in general like to have.
People love
who's underrated, who's
sports fans
overrated.
love, like, they don't even like having this group of guys that are underrated. They want to know who's the single most underrated. They love that conversation.
It's we're gonna play a fun little game here to determine who might be some pretty underrated guys that not a lot of people seem to be talking about. This is as of January 12th of this year, so 2025. So that's about a little bit shy of
60% of the way through the year? Last season?
Since January 12th to now.
Oh, okay. From them
going back to about a little over 10.5 months or something. And this is just who has the most goals in the NHL since.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to see if you can. I've only got the top three because that's all we need to get the point across here. I'm just gonna see if you can figure out who might
Huh.
be some of these guys that are in the top three for most goals
You know what?
since
I
January 12th of 2025.
I don't think I don't think I've seen this, but I do remember a little bit ago somebody made a post or there was a graphic somewhere and it was like three highest goal scorers at this point, something similar to what you're saying. And I remember there was like two blatant like superstars, and then there was a name that I did not expect to be anywhere near that list. Um, I do not remember the name though. So
So I'll
I
say there's
mean,
only one superstar
oh, okay.
on this one
I
here.
believe
Yeah.
I saw that before the season started, so it might have been like end of last season stats. Um,
Okay, maybe yeah.
Trying to think of who scores a lot of goals, who's underrated. I'm gonna go a little bit off the board and say Pavel Dorofeyev.
Pavel Dorofeyev, he is on the list. He is. I guess they had him listed as third, but he's tied for second. Yeah, 30 goals since
I was
January
gonna say
12th, 2025.
I don't suppose it has how many assists on there, huh? Because he's like a
No.
goal scorer. Like
Yeah,
he's
right now he's on pace for I think it's like 78 goals and 12 assists or something across the season.
yeah, like really goofy numbers. And I mean that's why they got him playing with, Eichel some nights, and if not that, then Marner. So
Yeah.
he's
A
he's
guy
got
that
a real good
loves to
setup
shoot the
there.
puck. You put him with guys that love to pass the puck, and you can get some pretty good production out of him. So
Did
Dorofeyev is
did
on the
Vegas
is on
draft
the
him?
list. Yeah, yeah,
Is he like one of their first like homegrown talents? Like, because obviously they're an expansion team, so pretty much all their guys came from other places. They get a lot of big free agent signings. Like, is he one of the first guys they drafted that's really blossoming? At least
yeah.
for them, because I think they drafted
He's
Suzuki.
one of the first. Yeah, in terms
Yeah,
of
well, good
what they've
for him.
they've developed, because I think they also did develop. Well, they did draft and then develop Nick Hague too, who they did trade, but
Oh, okay.
they got pretty good value out of him for quite a few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dorofeyev
Uh,
is on the list.
Dorofeev's on there. Excellent. Most goals. I mean, I gotta say Drysaitel. I
Draisaitl
guess he.
not on the list.
I guess he did get injured, like in March or February.
And it
Um,
wasn't confirmed in this, but I'm assuming it doesn't take. Actually, it might take playoff goals into account. I can't say for sure. But I don't feel like it because I feel like Draisaitl would be on this if
yeah. Well, especially because he's
if
got so many goals to start this year, and he won the Rocket last year. There's no
yeah.
way, but including playoff goals, there's no way he wouldn't be on the list.
Yeah, so I'm assuming playoffs aren't included in this.
Um, Nathan McKinnon.
No Nath McKinnon.
No Nathan McKinnon. Matt Boldy.
No, I like that. I like that. Matt Boldy does shoot the puck quite a lot, but no Matt Boldy. There is still a franchise level player on this
Yeah.
list. I know
Mikko
one
Rantanen.
that's not. No Rantanen.
Kyle Connor.
No Kyle Connor. He's on
Ovechkin?
your fantasy team. You have him now.
Oh, it is. Pasternak?
David Pastrnak, but he's only
Okay.
second, so he's tied with Dorofeyev at 30.
Damn.
There's still one guy sitting at number one all by himself at 31 goals.
All by himself at 31. And I assume this, well, I guess Pasternak's the superstar, so Dorfeyev and God, who else? Who else would it be? Like a not Wyatt Johnston. Um Marty Natchez?
No Marty Necas.
Who's burying the biscuit? Can I get a division? Narrow it
Atlantic.
down a little? Atlantic. Like
In the
Lundell?
Atlantic. Nope.
Dylan
Didn't make the
Cousins,
playoffs last year.
Tage
I guess I
Thompson
should say because no Tage Thompson.
did
Tage
not make the
Thompson's
playoffs.
already a superstar. We know that.
Yeah, I guess. In the Atlantic, didn't make the playoffs. Well, the Habs made the playoffs. He's on the wings. Is it a Dylan
No,
Larkin? No,
not on the Wings.
no. Who else? Geez, who else is in the Atlantic? Who are the scrubs of the Atlantic? There's no way it's another
We're
Bruin.
we're going back to Boston.
It's another Bruin. It's
It's
got to be
another
Morgan
Bruin.
Geekie.
It's Morgan Geekie, 31 goals.
Holy shit!
31, and people are, because what was the stat last season? I was listening to it on the
That's
radio,
crazy.
and I think it was Morgan Geekie scored the most goals in his first season as a Bruin, being like a player they got in free agency. So already last season, people were saying,
That's
more
pretty
so
wild.
Bruins fans because they kind of know the most about their team, but
Sure.
they were saying like, Morgan Geekie, as crazy as it sounds, might be the most successful free agent signing in Bruins history
Yeah.
because of the offensive production that kind of came out of nowhere. Like we knew he was a pretty good player, but to be producing at the level that he is and scoring the way he is,
Yeah.
is absolutely incredible. And I don't he doesn't get talked about enough, and the numbers are starting to back it up, and it's pretty damn good in Boston.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing his stats a couple times and being like, holy shit, like he's going off over there. Like obviously at this point he's playing with Pasternak and stuff, but you know, there's plenty of other guys on the team playing with Pasternak that aren't putting up these numbers. Like you
Yeah,
you still have to be able to keep up, and he's gotten some really good chemistry there, and he might end up being one of those players that, maybe he's a bit more of a late bloomer, but he ends up being, borderline elite player. Maybe he's elite.
because where is he right now in the league for goals? He is tied for fifth with 8. There's only 4 guys ahead of him that are all tied for first at 9. So, and he's still right in there for the goal scoring lead this season.
Like you know, throughout his career he's been decent, 22 points, 28 points, and then 2 seasons ago 39 points, 17 goals, and then yeah, last year 33 goals, 57 points. He's already up to 8 goals, 10 points on the season. Yeah, some guys take a little bit longer even if they are a forward, but you know what? It's
And
somebody
sometimes you just
somebody
got to
had to
get to
step
the
up
right
on that team.
team as well. You
Yeah.
got to get to the right team with, the right coach, be trusted, get more of a role and opportunity to show yourself. And, for some guys, it just works.
Yeah. And you know what? I do love the way you framed it at the start, because I do think Morgan Geekie and Pavel Dorofeyev are 2 of the more underrated players in the league for sure. Like,
Yeah.
and I think part of it is that, they haven't done it year in, year out. It's not a big consistency thing yet, but
Hmm.
the way that they're getting a lot of their points, it doesn't feel like either of them are gonna fall off. Some guys
Yeah.
have
Because, I
really
mean,
good puck luck, insane
yeah.
shooting percentages, Kuzmenko a couple years ago. Not that he can't get there, but like sometimes when a guy's shooting like 28% on the season, it's like he's probably not doing that again.
Yeah. But they're already, they were both 30 goal guys last season. They're both near the top this year. They're continuing to build off what they did last year. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that they very well could be the 2 most underrated players um, in the league right now. And hey, good on them. Like it's
Yeah.
great to see. It's just great to see when more talent starts to grow. Um,
Yeah. It'd be
in
less fun if it
across
wasn't a
the league.
guy on the Bruins and a guy on the Vegas Golden Knights, but they are 2 guys that, at least so far, they seem pretty easy to cheer for.
Yeah, most definitely. But just want to
And
start that off there because again, we do love talking about some underrated players and whatnot, and I feel like these 2 guys definitely uh, deserve their flowers for what they've been doing lately.
yeah, I completely agree. And while we're talking about them, I'm just going to throw out there, um, the Bruins have Morgan Geekie with a full no move clause, locked up until 2031 at 5.5 mil per season. That's going to be real nice if even if he's just a 30 goal scorer. That's going to be really nice for them.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. That's looking good for sure.
and then on the other side of that coin, Pavel Dorofeyev, an RFA at the end of this season, 25 years old. If he puts together a second really good season in a row, uh,
We're gonna have to
he's
find
in
a way to
for
pay
a
him.
he's in for a payday.
He's
I'm
in
sure
for, yeah,
Vegas will
absolutely.
find out how to make it happen, but
They'll
you know,
they'll make it work as they always do. That shouldn't be a worry there. But we
yeah.
can move on from these terrific underrated players, and we can go on to some terrific players that we already know are very good. So we definitely cannot say that they are underrated. But it's kind of feels like this is going to be a theme that we go across all year long. As you know, we've already seen quite a few. We've got some more here, and there's a lot more that are still to come from who's still eligible to, and that is some more extensions. The extension wagon continues to roll through as all of these terrific players are getting locked up by their teams. So we've got three pretty big ones here, ones that we've kind of talked about a little bit before and kind of speculated about. Um, and we can just dive into these and talk about them, give our thoughts, and uh, all that. So, which of the three massive extensions would you like to discuss first?
I'm just now realizing all three are even in the same division. Um, we might as well just
Yeah.
go straight down the list. We'll start with the Dallas Stars extending Thomas Harley for 8 more years at an average of 10.587 mil per season. That's a lot of money, but
It's a lot of money.
I mean, that's an 8-year extension. That's on top of this season as well. I believe he's
Yeah.
24 right now, so that's another 9 years. You get him till he's 33. Like you locked him up for his pretty much his entire prime, you can assume. And
Yeah.
that seems like fair money for what he's done. The cap's going up. Like I like the deal, it's maybe a little rich compared to a guy like Heiskanen, but also, Harley's a couple years younger. He way more offensively inclined. Like, I think this is a really
I
good
would say
signing for the
way.
Stars.
I wouldn't say way more offensively inclined. But Heiskanen also did sign his what? 4 years ago or so. Because I think Heiskanen's only got three years
Um,
left or something. His uh, current deal.
Heiskanen has 1, 2, 3, yep, 4 years left. So it'll
Yeah.
expire when he's
So
30.
I mean, if 4 years after Heiskanen signed his, so a little bit of a raise, I think, is fair given how much the cap is starting to go
Yeah.
up. And
Heiskanen's was probably a bigger percentage of the cap when his was signed, frankly.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Thomas Harley, we already know is a great player, good offensively, good defensively. Uh, just a very perfect kind of two-way defenseman who can do it at such a high elite level. And we're probably going to see more of that, assuming he does make Team Canada for the Olympics. And again, the cap is
After
only
his
going up, so
it's going to be hard to keep him off that team after how he played when he was because I think he was one of the bench players, right? He got called in to play for Makar or when somebody got injured in
I don't
Four
even think
Nations.
he wasn't even originally named to the team.
Yeah, like I think he was like an emergency call in, and
Yeah,
he was he was, if not their second best defenseman in a couple of
yeah.
those games that he played near the end. So yeah, terrific player, and you know, Dallas keeps finding a way to lock these incredible players up. They just have seemingly endless pockets. Like they just keep paying these guys, and they keep making it work with the cap, and they
They don't
keep
wait around
having
too long. They get it done. And
yeah.
obviously the big question is Jason Robertson, who I'm sure there will be an extension that we'll be talking about at some point this year. But for Thomas Harley, again, like this is an A plus because he's already such a high level defenseman. And at the age of 24, it's fair to assume that he's only going to get better over the next couple of years. And as the
Yeah.
cap continues to rise, this, won't take up as much of their overall cap that they have.
And they still
Can't
have
say anything bad about this deal.
in 2 years time they have another just under 10 million coming off the books for Tyler Seguin, making
Yeah.
9.85. So in 2 seasons that's off the books. Like, yeah, that between that, the cap going up, you make some moves in other places, the Ryan Suter buyout, apparently that's also on them, is carried over till next season and then it goes away. So they've got a tidy cap structure.
Yeah, they're in a really, really good spot right now, and they continue to do so. And Jim Nill keeps showing why he's one of the better GMs across the league. So A
Did you
plus
mean
for
did you mean
Dallas.
to cover your mic?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
making sure.
We're all good though.
Um, what do we got next here? The next one we have to talk about is Logan Cooley extending for 8 years as well with the Utah Mammoth, this time with an AAV of 10 million even. What do you think about the Logan Cooley extension?
Again, it's kind of the same thing that we're going to be talking about with all these deals. Another really good deal, and kind of surprised that it was only 10. I thought it was going to be closer to probably that about 11 range. Uh, so a perfect 8x10 for, again, how old's Logan Cooley? 22?
I believe it's 22, yeah.
22. And again, like we're going to say, only going to continue to get better, already looking incredible to start this season. The chemistry with the other young players across Utah, especially Dylan Genther.
Yeah. Logan Cooley's still 21 according
21. So, I
to
mean,
cap wages.
so he'll be 22 when this extension kicks in. It'll take him till he's only 30. Like, that's
He's so young.
absolutely
Holy
terrific
crap.
uh,
He-
for Utah. And I think it's fair to say that Cooley probably doesn't get a deal like this if they're still in Arizona, because
Yeah.
Arizona kind of had a history of not wanting to pay young players lots of money, give them long-term deals, kind of similar to what Ottawa had
Yeah.
a while ago here. And I,
Absolutely.
I think this deal just makes all the sense in the world. Utah gets their number one center locked up long term on what's going to be a pretty good cap hit as the cap continues to go up. And for Logan Cooley, he can probably still sign a pretty high value 6, maybe even 7 year deal after this one, because he'll only be 30. He'll be in the
Yeah.
prime of his career.
Like, man, that's I cannot believe how young he is. I thought he was a bit older, like 22. Who knows when he turns 23? He turned 21 in the off season. Like, the numbers he put up last season, he was 20 years old the entire time. Like, man, he's I think a lot of people think he's going to cap out at a bit higher than a point per game player, but like this is a guy that like I wouldn't be shocked if he finishes, you know, in the top 5 for an Art Ross at some point in his career.
He's
Like,
already a terrific player, and we're starting to see his game take that next step. And large part of that is to just him improving, developing as a player, but also everyone around him on Utah's still more on the younger side, and they're continuing to get older, they're continuing to all improve and get better together, and it's kind of been a perfect mixture for all those guys, and they still have a lot of other good players to come up. So
yeah.
it's it's only going to go up from here for both Cooley and Utah,
Yeah.
which
I
is really
absolutely
good
love
for
this
them.
for him.
It's well deserved, and hey, they got their star center
They got
locked
their
up.
guy. Um
That's something Arizona hasn't really, unfortunately, able to say for the longest time. But
yeah,
Utah's getting
like
it done and off to a good start this season as well.
Keller and Cooley are some of the best players that you know, if you want to say that they're the same franchise, they aren't technically, but because they obviously expanded to Utah, but they're some of the best players that Arizona would have ever had. Like they never really got a lot of these guys, and even further, they had a really hard time keeping a lot of them. So it's
Yeah.
despite them moving to Utah, it's still nice to see them, finally having these guys break out and finally have some star power with that team.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, again,
And
like this is another A plus. I can't say enough good things about it.
yeah. And for the last one, we have the Colorado Avalanche. This one has been rumored for a little bit, but also a little bit of trade rumors. We now know that Marty Necas is staying in Colorado for 8 more years, also an extension, so 9. And the cap hit for that is 11.5 million AAV. That's a lot of money, but
Yeah.
there, with everything he's done since being in Colorado, there's no reason to believe that he's not that guy. He looked incredible in Carolina to start the season last year. He went to Colorado. He only got better, and he's been great to start the year this year. Like, he looks like a perfect fit for Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, he just fits so well playing with McKinnon, and large part of that is because of his incredible speed.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, obviously the biggest thing people are going to talk about with this deal is, you could have had Rantanen for 12, and while that may be true, again, we don't ever fully know what the asking price was from both sides. There's still the rumors that Rantanen wanted,
I,
14, and
I was going to
Colorado wasn't
say,
even willing to go above 10 and a half. And now it's like, well, now
I heard
Rantanen only wanted
13 in
12.
Colorado.
And
Like,
yeah, and then, and then it sounds like, oh, both sides wanted 12. And it's like, well, why didn't it get done? We never got the full scoop behind it.
yeah.
And what's the point of comparing to what you could have had, when just focus on what you got now and focus on the fact that you have Martin Necas, who is a very good player.
Yeah.
This is a very manageable cap hit for what he brings, and again, we'll keep saying it. It's only going to get better. And again, yeah, because he fits so well with McKinnon and Makar. I mean, you got to lock him up. Yeah, if you're unhappy about it because you want to focus on the Rantanen thing, well, what's the alternative, dude? You do what you did last year with Ranton. You have to trade Natchez in a deal that you probably lose. Like you pay
Yeah.
him, you get him locked up, and you move forward with where you're at now. And so I got to give Colorado a lot of credit for not letting this drag on or get to that point that they were at last year. And
Yeah.
uh, they got Natchez locked up now for 8 years. They can just roll forward with their top end talent, and they can kind of fix the areas that need improvement around all these star players throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And they kind of, as a morale thing, kind of low key need Marty Necas to stick around and be a great player because,
Yeah.
losing a guy like Mikko Rantanen sucks. Having him be right in your division on a team that you're probably going to face in the playoffs plenty of times over the next decade is even worse. Look what he did in game 7 last year. He single handedly left your team and eliminated you in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
you if you just got assets back for Natchez, it would have looked really rough, even if they were decent assets. Like, they need Natchez to be the bright spot when it's all doom and gloom thinking about how they lost Rantanen. And I think he's gonna do that
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Again, I think this is a great deal, and yeah, the the negatives that could come from not getting this done is far worse than anything else. So
Yeah, like, it's a fair cap hit for
yeah,
what he's done.
absolutely, for what he brings, going to be at least a 30 goal a year guy. Obviously, like that's the minimum. He's very good chance he gets up to 40 this year even.
Yeah,
Um, and
probably
the
at
biggest thing
least
is, yeah,
90 points.
you there was a lot of hype and thought of that. Yeah, he's the perfect player that was going to fit alongside McKinnon and replace Ranton. But you know we didn't know that for sure, but we know that now. And if you traded him, now you're taking another swing on a guy of, can he work alongside McKinnon, because when you moved out Ranton, you need to get someone to fill that spot. If you're trading Necas, you need to get someone to fill that spot. You probably weren't going to get the value back. So you had to get the deal
Yeah.
done, and I thought it might have been. I thought it might have gotten up to the 12 with the start of the season that he had. But so 11 and
I
a
wouldn't have
half.
been shocked. 7 goals,
I liked
13
it a lot
points
for
in
him.
11 games. Like he's
Yeah,
crushing it there.
yeah. So I like it for the player, for the team, same as the other deals. And
Yeah.
now again,
Eh,
same thing. Now Colorado can just roll forward and not have to worry about this.
Yeah. For these deals, like unless it's a guy that isn't quite proven fully, like I generally I'm going to really like them. I think to win in this era, you really need at least a couple of those really good deals, the Jack Hughes deals that you locked it in long term right before everyone knew he was the guy he is. And you got him at
Yeah,
a cheaper cap hit. Like the only one here that's really much of a risk is Logan Cooley because he's 21. But from what we've seen out of him, it would be shocking to see a fall off after he signs this.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I think all three of these deals are going to be very well, and these ones I think are going to kind of start to set the stage now of some of these other players out there looking to extend. Like Nature's deals is pretty comparable to probably what Jason Robertson can get now.
Yeah.
Don't know if Dallas is able to afford that, but that's
Uh, well, I
that's
guess
kind
we'll
of
see.
around in that range. That's probably where he fits. Did I lose my camera again? I think I might have lost my camera.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you were fixing something or what.
Yeah, if it ever goes away, let me know, because I don't notice right away.
Oh, okay. I let you know earlier, but I wasn't sure if you tried to get it back at any point.
Oh no, but I'm back now.
Weird. Excellent.
I'm back now.
Um,
That's only extensions here. Getting back on
yeah,
track here.
some
We do
very
have a
big
little bit of
extensions
other
for
news.
late October, but yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to hit us with the first milestone? I know you're a big fan of this guy.
Yeah, we got a couple milestones that took place here. And the first one being John Tavares becoming the 49th player in NHL history to record 500 career goals. And unfortunately, it happened at the very end of a shit
Yeah,
kicking by Columbus over Toronto. So
I think it
usually
was
when guys get
6-1.
their at the time, I think so, yeah.
Oof.
And usually when guys get their 500th career goal, 1000th point or whatever, it's a big celebration. More often than not, all the players come off the bench to celebrate and congratulate them.
Yeah.
But you can't really do that on the road when you're getting dick slapped by Columbus in the third.
Did they? Do you know?
It's
Did they do much?
no, like it was just
Ah,
like a regular goal. The guys on the
they
ice were
should.
like kind of like good job, but
They should have cleared the bench. They should have gone and celebrated with them. Even if
probably
you're losing
should
the
have.
game, it
But
sucks. But like, you know what? Does it feel weird to say that like if that happened to another team, they would have celebrated. You know, like,
what do you mean?
I feel like it's just one of those Toronto things. Like they're losing the game, they're getting shit canned, and then this happens, and they're trying to get excited about it. I don't know. I feel like if when Pasternak scores his 500th goal, if they're down 9-0 and he scores to make it 9-1, that whole bench is gonna erupt and leave, and they're gonna go celebrate with them. Like they're not gonna give a shit about the game. They're gonna celebrate that. Toronto just is one of those teams that I don't
Mm,
know. They feel so much more embarrassed about losing than other teams. Like every game
I
has one
kind of
winner
get
and one
what you're.
loser.
I,
Like
I I do kind of get what you're saying.
historically they have been owned by Columbus for whatever reason.
Yeah, and
But
I don't know for sure, but I almost wonder if maybe it's a Tavares thing. Obviously John Tavares
and
isn't
that's he's a
the
very
biggest
low
guy
key
that
guy.
wants all the attention on him. He's very kind of just more, I feel like quiet's not exactly the right word, but he kind of just goes out there and does his
Stoic, I
thing.
guess.
He's very
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly it. He's just very humble and doesn't want everything to be about him. So I
Not
wonder if,
loud. Yeah.
maybe it's something he kind of just said to the team of, "Hey, when I get this, like, if you guys want to spray me with water, champagne, fucking whatever in the dressing room afterwards, fine. But like out there, just treat it like anything else." I don't know for sure. I think there's
Mhm.
definitely a couple different ways you could view it for the way it went, but
Yeah. Or
nonetheless, I mean, hey,
maybe it was the
49th player
coach,
to do it.
Craig Berube, very no nonsense guy. Like,
Yeah,
maybe he's like, hey, we're down by quite a few goals. Don't get excited too much yet, or something. Or
yeah,
it'd be interesting to know.
and we'll probably never know, and that's the fun part of it. Um, Hit us with the next one we got here.
The next one we got here is Sidney Crosby is the ninth player in NHL history to record 1,700 career points. I mean, what a beast. I think he had 3 points in that game. Like, he's, man, he's just, people keep waiting for the fall off, and it's just not happening. It's just simply not
Yeah,
happening.
it's pretty incredible the pace he's on, and again, as he gets up there in age, just continuing to deliver over and over.
Like, I feel like I keep hearing this rhetoric of Crosby's going to retire at or before 40 years old. I feel like I keep hearing that. He's in his final 2 seasons at this point. If he drops
What's
another
what's
90
proving that?
points, why?
Yeah,
Like, Crosby, it's weird because at the same time, he seems like the kind of guy who doesn't want to play once his play is falling off and stuff. At the same time, he also seems like Yager, where he will play until the freaking wheels fall off. Like, he will find a league that will
yeah,
allow him to play if he can't make it in the NHL. Like, he's just that committed to hockey. So I could really see either version for him. But right
yeah,
now, like, I'm saying the end doesn't look like it's in sight. I could see him playing another 5 years and being point per game in all of them.
yeah. People love to just be like, oh, once a player hits 40, like they're done, they're retiring. It's like if Crosby's still having fun playing hockey, if he's still an effective player, because I think you're right. If Crosby's out there to play in a fourth line role because the game's just evolved too much past him, then like obviously yeah, he's not gonna play. But if he's still out there, he's still contributing, he's still effective, and he's having fun. I mean, yeah, why would why would you stop then, right? If that's his passion, and we know it is, it's what he loves. If it's working still, yeah, there's no reason to hang him up if you're not ready. And the way he's going right now, I'm right there with you. There's nothing to indicate that we've only got a year or two left of Crosby. So, and Pittsburgh's more than happy to just keep giving him a 1 year
Yeah.
extension at 8.7 every year until he says, all right, this is the last one we're doing.
Yeah. No, yeah, like he's gonna be worth that for a long time more. And even if at some point, if he's not, it'll be a low enough part of the cap hit. It's like, you know what? You gave us a bargain all those years. You're Sid the Kid. Like, unless they're looking to very seriously contend for a cup in those last few years, they'll have no problem bringing him in just for the locker room vibes, just for him being at practices.
Yeah.
Um, So Crosby at 1,702 points currently as of recording. Next up on the all-time list, 1,723, so 21 points away, Mario Lemieux. So he's coming up on Super Mario
Yeah.
for points. Like, how many points do you think Crosby gets this year?
He's probably still in that 85 to 90, I bet.
85 to
Like that's
90,
and I
right?
think but I think even potentially more.
That's about what I'm thinking. If he does that, we're already a little bit into the season. There's a pretty good chance, say he gets another 70 points on the year from what he already has. That alone puts him at 6th all time in points. He would be passing Mario Lemieux, Steve Yzerman, and Marcel Dion.
Yeah,
And if he
that's
puts
pretty
another year
incredible.
up on top of that, he's definitely passing Ron Francis and Gordie Howe, maybe Mark Messier. He needs to do that. He needs to have a season like last year for this season and the next season. And by the end of that, he's potentially third, maybe second all time in points.
Wow.
I think he's getting to I think he's getting to 2,000. I think he's got enough gas in the tank. I
Very,
think he's
very
got
good
enough love for
chance.
the game. I think come hell or high water, he's getting to 2K.
I absolutely could see that from him. Yeah, not much more to say on that. And then the final milestone here. This isn't as big of a milestone as the other two, but thought it was noteworthy enough that we should mention it. Connor Bedard scoring his first career hat trick against the Ottawa Senators during the Frozen Frenzy. One of the big highlights of the day
Yeah.
there.
I saw the headlines that he had a hat trick, and I was like, "Is that his first career one?" And I was surprised when I googled it that it was, because nowhere
Yeah,
was marketing it for a guy who came in with such hype. Everywhere was just saying Connor Bedard got a hat trick, good for him. Like nobody was saying like his first career hat trick. This is a big thing. Like people love those monumental moments in sports. So I was
and
surprised
all three pretty
to not
nice
hear that.
goals too.
Very
Pretty
nice
nice goals
goals. Like they
too.
were. There's
They
some very
stomped
good snipes.
Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a. But I do agree with you. And not a lot of places were really putting it out there as yeah, first career hat trick. It was just kind of like they're kind of acting like he done it before, and it was like, no, this is the first go we're getting of it. Um, but yeah, not
Yeah.
much more to say on that. Just wanted to throw
Huge
that
for
one
my
out there.
fantasy.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm
We
facing
do
the
have a
only
little bit
guy
of
who's left
standings.
undefeated in our league this week. So I need every bit of help I can get.
We'll see if you can pull it off here. All that's left is we do got a little bit of standings news, and then we got a fun little game to wrap up the episode here. I threw
Yes.
a couple things in here for the standings. I don't know if there's more teams you want to talk about, but I do at least have a couple there that I feel like we're noteworthy enough.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about Crosby, so we can start with Pittsburgh in here. Pittsburgh is currently second in the entire NHL, only behind the New Jersey Devils. Holy shit.
It's pretty damn good for
I don't think anyone
majority
expected
of
that.
people. No, the majority of people had them, you know, at bottom of the
I
Metro
was going to say, where did we
for
have them?
starters, and then
Did we have them bottom of the
bottom.
Metro or second
I did.
last? Like,
I had them bottom of the Metro.
I can't imagine I had them outside the bottom two at least. Like, man, they're cooking over there. Like Crosby's got one more in him to go on a playoff run. Malkin, Letang, Carlson, like they're all cooking right now. And this is without Ricard Raquel at this point. The
Yeah,
last few
Raquel
days he's
is
been out with an
on the
injury.
shelf,
And he's gonna be
injured.
out
And,
for was it 6 to 8 weeks? It was a decently long one too.
yeah,
So
about six
hopefully he
weeks.
comes
And
back.
a lot of people talking about Pittsburgh, they say that oh, this team's not good enough. They can't do it all year long. This and this. Okay, but we're all saying the same thing for the first 2 months of the season last year about Washington, because majority of people had Washington
Yep.
written off, missing the playoffs. They're getting too old. They're not good enough, and they prove people wrong. I mean, they won the division.
They were second in the
They won
league
a
at the end of the
Yeah, they
season,
won
weren't they?
a playoff round. Like they were the number one seed in the East. Why can't
Yeah.
Pittsburgh do it?
Yeah.
Could Pittsburgh fall off and end up by the end of the season bottom five? I mean, absolutely. Like we've seen Buffalo prove that that is possible. But Washington has proven that Pittsburgh could make the playoffs. Pittsburgh could finish top of the division. It's impossible to tell which way it's going to go, but right now it's kind of enjoyable to just see Pittsburgh winning. Um, Malkin is looking great. Carlson is looking great. They're getting solid goaltending, which we haven't been able to say the last few years. And
Yeah.
Crosby, as we've talked about, is doing great. They're a fun team
Rip
to watch
to
right now.
rip to all the people who put in their early bets on the Penguins getting Gavin McKenna. or getting the first overall pick in the upcoming draft. Because I know a lot of people thought, oh, here comes their once every 20 years first overall generational pick. It's not look like it right now. But yeah, if this continues, if they keep being not even a top 2 team in the league, like a very solidly in the playoffs team though. Do we start having that conversation, especially if the Rangers don't turn it around, that Mike Sullivan's kind of washed?
Uh,
Like if the Penguins were that bad last year and they're this good this year, is it and all this like the Rangers can't seem to turn it around? Has he lost his edge? You know, he helped the Penguins win back-to-back cups, but that was 8 and 9 years ago. Is the game starting to pass him by? It wouldn't be the first time. It won't be the last we've seen it with coaches.
I'm I'm gonna say no for now because I think that is a possibility. We have seen coaches that have had lots of success,
Yeah.
but as the game continues to improve and things change, the game kind of does pass them by, and they're not able to adapt to the way that the game does. But I don't feel like Sullivan's been put in the best spot with the New York Rangers. It is a very messy time that
Right.
the Rangers are in, and again, you know, I don't want to bash on the Rangers too much because I feel like we've done that a lot over the last bit. But at times when I look at the Rangers, I don't think it matters who their coach is. I don't think
You know,
it matters who the coach is
that's
given
fair.
where the team is at, kind of what it sounds like the locker room potentially could be in at times. Um, so I'm not going to say it yet because again, at the same time, also like the Rangers did miss the playoffs last year. It's not like the Rangers went from in the
Yeah.
playoffs last year and having success to falling off. Like they were already on the decline
Yeah.
last year. So I'm not going to say it yet, but I totally can see, you know, where you're coming from when you bring up that idea because
Yeah.
you know it's a big turnaround for Pittsburgh. I mean, Dan Muse was on no one's radar for becoming their head coach and just
He's
got the
doing a
team off
pretty
to a
good job of
terrific
it.
start. Yeah, absolutely.
He
So I'm
gets
not
to
going to
walk.
say it yet for Sullivan, but the seeds are
Yeah.
planted there.
Yeah,
So
that's more what I'm thinking as well. And yeah, I'm sure Dan Muse, he goes in that locker room and he was like, fuck, like, man, coaching's a lot easier when you got a guy like Crosby, especially who's a veteran at this point, like helping you out with probably everything. Like I imagine he's involved in so many different leadership and teaching roles throughout that team that
yeah,
like he probably makes it so much easier. So
yeah,
um
yeah.
but beyond the Penguins dominating the league, just the only team ahead of them being New Jersey as well, who they're having a great start to the year.
Yeah.
Um, Minnesota and St. Louis are 29th and 30th respectively in the league. They are right down near the bottom, and what the hell's going on there? These teams were supposed to take
Yeah,
a
I
jump.
mean they were, you know, they snagged up the two wild card spots last season. St. Louis gave a pretty good run against the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets, and we know how good Vegas has been the last few years. Minnesota gave them quite a scare, and you know, if I still believe if you know that offside call didn't happen, good chance Minnesota ends up actually winning that series. And now they're at the bottom. Yeah, it's I mean, I think we kind of know what Minnesota's problem is, and that's that their 5-on-5 scoring hasn't been
Yeah.
particularly great. Like they've got the number one power play in the league at 31.8%. They're first, but goals per game they're 25th at 2.73.
Yeah, that's pretty rough to be 29th in
And
the
their
league
penalty
and have
kill
the
is
best
dog
power
shit.
play.
Their penalty kill is dog shit. 32nd, 62.5% on the season. Goals allowed per game
62
3.91, 29th in the league.
for
But here's
for
the thing
every.
though.
Oh my
Penalty
god.
minutes, they're averaging 6.1 per game. That's second best in the league.
Well, yeah, probably because they get yelled at their coach every time they take a penalty because there's always a goal. For every 10 penalties they take, they're getting scored on 4 times on average. Oh my god. I mean, no wonder they're not winning, and that's rough because you gotta assume that you can assume the penalty kill will get better, but you can also assume the power play is gonna slow down at some point as well, so,
Yeah.
yeah, they gotta shore up that defense, and they gotta start scoring at 5 on 5,
Yeah, I mean, that's
and
that's kind of the biggest thing
especially
is that
signing Kaprizov to that huge deal, like,
yeah.
thank you for the insane offense on the power play, but you for that amount of money, you have to score 5 on 5 too.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty. I mean, for Minnesota, I feel like it's a. I don't want to say an easier fix, but it's nothing crazy. Like you gotta
The answer's in the
move
locker
pieces
room.
out, bring things in. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Just
They just gotta right
maybe
the
some
ship.
puck luck hasn't been quite going their way again. We're not even a full month into the season. I'm sure the 5-on-5 scoring will improve. And they have been dealing with some injuries, so once guys get healthy. But yeah, it's the penalty kill. You gotta, you know, you can't go all season long with a penalty kill like that. Like that is just extremely bad, and
Which is
it's
crazy because
counterproductive to what your biggest
they have
asset
some
is, and
good
that's
guys.
you have the number one power play. But your number one power play doesn't mean shit if you get 2 power play goals a game, but then you give up 2 on the penalty kill every game. They just
Yeah.
cancel each other out nonstop. So it's cool you got the number one power play, but it means jack shit when your penalty kill is giving it right back to the other team.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're
Um,
relied on to win the game at 5-on-5, and if you can't score at 5-on-5, you're screwed.
so what were their power play and penalty kill numbers again? Was it 31% and 62?
Um, Power play 31.8, penalty kill 62.5.
31 and 62. Because I know a lot of rule of thumb that they use around the league to determine if you have overall just good special teams is do you exceed 100% combining them?
Hmm,
And so obviously you
yeah.
have to have a good penalty kill to get the majority of that, and then you have to have a good power play to get over 100. 62 plus 31, even with the best power play in the league, that's still a 93. Like you're you're at
Yeah.
a net deficit for your special teams despite having the best power play because the PK is that bad.
PK is just that bad. And again, it's a penalty kill. It's not even like they're dealing with a big workload because again, they take the second least penalties in the league.
Yeah,
So I wonder if the team
that's
maybe just
rough.
needs to goon it up in some games, take some more penalties, and just give your penalty kill some more reps. I guess. Like I
They
because
don't even
it's
have a
just
team
bad.
that should be bad on the penalty kill, do they? Like
No,
they've
it should
got
be
good
good.
good goaltending. They got, guys like Eriksson Ek who are great defensive forwards. They got, you
Boldy,
know, Spurgeon, Boldy,
Brodeen.
Middleton. Like they've got good
They've
guys
got
who would be on the PK.
and that's like
Like
what you said. The issue is in the locker room at least though. Like it's not like they
yeah,
got to go out and find this, you know, penalty kill beast or something over the last few years. Like they've got the pieces there.
unless
It's
Freddie
just not
Boudreau
clicking
was
right
just
now.
holding that PK together or something.
I mean, maybe yeah. I mean, if that's the case, yeah, maybe you got to go bring them back. But
The Kraken are doing pretty good so far. Maybe. He went to the Kraken,
all
right?
right, let me check here. Did he?
I
He
think
did, but he
Freddie
hasn't.
Boudreau
I don't
went.
think he's played all year. Oh, he's played 4 games.
Good for him. Does he have like 4
What's
shorthanded
their
goals?
Okay, yeah, no, because Seattle's penalty kill isn't any better. 64%, 30th in the league. It's not much better.
Never mind. Locker room cancer.
And then in St. Louis, let's dive into St. Louis and see where the
Oh,
issues lie here. Let's see if we can try and
even
pinpoint
worse. Even worse than
what's
the Wild.
fucking them. They've lost 5 in a row.
Lost 5 in a row in 10 games. They have 3 wins. They have 7 points. A
Ooh,
minus
well,
a minus
special teams ain't
15
good.
goal differential in 10 games is brutal. They just lost Jake Neighbors the other day for a couple of weeks as well, which is not going to help.
Their power play 20.7%, 15th in the league, and then penalty kill 70.4, 26 in the league. So it's at 80, 81.1. Or no, 90. Sorry. 90.1.
Yeah.
91.1. So again, just they're still under that 100. It's their penalty kill is not as bad as Minnesota, but their power
I
play
would say,
is quite further back.
what was it? 20%, something like that?
At
Because, like,
20.7 for the power
I
play.
would say if you're above 20%, I don't think it's, you can always obviously improve, but I don't think it's an area of concern if you keep it above 20%. But
Mhm. And that's kind of the
you'd like to
average
see
for
those
most
numbers
teams
get
is
a bit better.
around that 20%. Like that's kind of the average.
Yeah.
The goaltending really hasn't been good for St. Louis. And admittedly, I don't
Yeah.
watch enough Blues games to know if it's fully on the goaltending, if it's more on the defense. And I've seen some Blues fans online, and it's kind of mixed emotions as to who's more at fault. But like, I'm just gonna read you these,
Yeah.
and because
I I
it's not
did catch I did catch a single, not even an entire game, but I watched one period of the Blues this year. It was versus the Wild, and I believe the period ended 4-0. It might have been 5-0 for the Wild. It was like 5 goals on 8
probably all power
shots.
play goals.
Um, yeah, people were ripping Binnington apart, but I watched the goals and I was like, there's some like cross crease passes, unguarded, like
I
insane
feel like it is
power
a
play
mixture
pressure.
of both.
Yeah, there was a couple dropped ones, but there was at least 3 where I was like, what do you want the goalie to do there? Like, you like if he makes the save, you're happy, but you can't really expect that.
Yeah. Jordan Bennington, so 6 games started, 23 goals against, 3.27 goals against, and an 8.63 save percentage. So not the greatest for Bennington. But if Bennington's having a
Yeah.
rough night, you can't really go to Joel Hofer right now. 4 games started, a record of 2-1, so he actually got yanked out of one, and Bennington replaced him. And unfortunately, Bennington had to eat the L in that game. A 5.8 goals against and a 793 save percentage.
Ooh.
17 goals allowed in his 4 starts. Um, and again, it's not fully on the goalies. Like I believe it's a mixture of both. But again, I haven't really watched much for
Yeah.
St. Louis games yet.
But
They're kind of one of the teams that I haven't got to see as much.
yeah.
But I also wasn't as high on them as many people going into this year. Like I still
Yeah.
had them. I think I had them outside the playoffs still, just barely. But
Like an 870 or an 880 after, however many 6 games or whatever starting, like that could be just a bit of bad luck, maybe a couple blown assignments by the defense. Like
Mhm.
that doesn't scream horrendous goaltending in that short of that few games. Um, a sub 800 save percentage. It's hard to believe that is fully on the team. That's obviously Hofer's the backup, but you're
Yeah,
still an NHL backup. You got to do better than that, buddy.
yeah,
It takes a lot for a team to pull the backup and put the regular starter back in because those games are designed for that guy to be getting rest. Like
yeah.
I don't know if since I've started full-time watching hockey, I don't think I've ever seen Tampa do that. I literally don't think there's been a single time where there's been like a handful, not many, a handful of times where we've pulled Vasi and put in the backup. We've never pulled the backup for Vasi.
Mhm.
Like if he's getting pumped for 10 goals, if he dies, he
He's,
dies.
he's, he's
Like
he's getting pumped for
it's
10. He's getting pumped for
yeah.
10.
Yeah, like I think Coop would actually sooner put an e-bug in. And I imagine for teams like, Winnipeg, I bet they're probably doing that with Hellebuck, like all those
Mhm.
the elite starters. So and we know that's
But
how
again,
St.
yeah,
Louis
it's
views
designed for
Binnington.
rest. Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
that's rough. Hopefully they can turn it around. I do think Binnington and Hofer are both good goaltenders, so I do think they will turn it around.
Yeah. I mean, they're both fine. It's the offensive production from the team. You'd like it to be a bit better, but it's not awful because you are getting kind of production throughout your lineup. Yeah, I think it's more on the defensive side, and I think it's a combination of a couple things. So a team to keep an eye on. We'll come back to them in a couple weeks and see if they've trended in the upward direction or if they've continued to kind of be on the slide. Same with Minnesota. Any other teams you wanted to touch on here before we move into our final segment here of the episode?
We don't have to dive into them too much, but just to note how rough it's been for the Wild and the Blues. Above those two teams are the Blackhawks and the Predators, who are both hovering around a point per game as a team, like 12 points in 10 games, 10 points in 11 games for the Preds. So, yeah, like even if the Wild and Blues don't end up being playoff teams, you're better than them, surely.
Yeah,
At least the
I would assume so.
Blackhawks. The Mammoth also lost their first game since forever, since introducing Tusky as their mascot. Was that to Edmonton the other night?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still 8-3 on the season, 16 points already, plus 10 goal differential. They're cooking over there, and that's
It's
what
a
helps
fun
Logan
time to
Cooley get
be
paid.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else with any other teams? Just getting this last part here finalized. Oh,
You know
thanks for
what?
that.
The Seattle Kraken are second in the Pacific with a -1 goal differential. How does that happen?
Probably at least one game they probably got pumped for quite a few, and then majority of the wins are probably close games. Which, if you're a fan of the team, you'd like to see them stomp teams and dominate. But it's also kind of nice to see that such a young team is able to grind out those close games as well.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what Calgary's doing a lot of last year. They were grinding out those one goal games, and more often than not, it was going in Calgary's favor. And you need that, and it's huge for the development of your younger players as well, which Seattle's got quite a few of.
yeah.
Very young
Yeah,
team.
I think that's the majority of what I have to talk about. The Lightning finally turned it around. They're on a 3-game win streak. So they are currently tied with both the Sabres and the Bruins at the bottom of the Atlantic. So still not great, but trending up from where they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Golden stick ceremony tonight for Kucherov. First home game since getting 1,000 points.
Since the 1,000.
That'll be good.
Right on. Good for him. But I guess with that we can move on into our final segment here. If you are ready.
I am ready.
You don't know what's coming. People
I
at
do
home
not.
don't know what's coming, but I sure do. I'm just gonna finalize this here. We're back with one of your favorite here. We're back with another game of Guess Who. Pretty simple. You get to ask me some yes or no questions and try to narrow down who the player is, and for fun, we add on top that we've got your record here, and you can try to beat it if you can. It's pretty tough to do because your record wasn't 7. So to just tie the record, your record back on July 31st, you only get 6 questions to narrow it down, and then you got to nail it on the 7th. To beat it,
Yikes.
you only get 5 questions and have to nail it on the 6th one. So very tough to do, but hey, it's all part of the game. It's just fun, and yeah, we'll see how you do here. Again, I just asked AI here for a player because it's more fun that way when it just gives me a random one. But
Yeah.
I always make sure that it's not like some
It's not
obscure
Doug
player.
Glatt.
Like I always make sure that it is a player that everyone knows. Doug Glatt. Fuck out of here. Everyone knows Doug. Yeah, I'll just throw it over to you. I'll let you kick it off. And again, yes or no on the questions, and
All
we'll
right.
see how you do here. And
So-
everyone at home can also play along, but you don't get to ask questions. Only Braden does.
Yeah. Well, they can try asking questions. You probably just won't answer them.
Yeah.
Unless they line it up with your responses. But you got to narrow it down real quick. Like there's still a lot of players on teams, and it takes a lot of guesses to narrow that down. So finding the team early is really important. I don't think I can to at least even tie, let alone set the record, I don't think I can take too many questions to narrow it down. So I'm gonna skip asking about the conference, and I'm going to ask the division, and just hope that I guess it, because that just seems like the way to do it. Is this player on a team in the Central Division?
No, it is not a team in the Central.
Damn.
Unfortunately not. That is no.
That makes it tough. But that, you know what, that eliminates about a quarter of the league, so I'm pretty close.
Yeah. There you go. There's that. What else you got here?
Are they in the Metro Division?
They're not in the Metro.
Okay. Well, I can't waste another one on asking about that, so we're just going to have to know that it's a player in the Atlantic or the Pacific. Is this player a forward?
No.
Not a forward. Okay.
Not a forward.
Oh, is it worth?
So a non-forward in the Pacific or Atlantic.
You got to assume it's a defenseman, but it might be a goaltender. You know,
It's up to you to determine
bring up
that.
some of these teams. Take a look at some of these. I'm seeing 4 of that. Let's go to the Pacific.
In the Pacific?
I'm seeing a couple. Okay. The team that this player is on, do they have a blue as their primary or secondary color?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So out of the Atlantic,
good question.
So out of the Atlantic, it is the Sabres, the Lightning, the Leafs. Would you say blue is one of them on the Canadians? It's kind of a third color to red and white.
I didn't include it.
Okay.
So there's a
I kind of figured.
Yeah.
So Leafs, Sabres, Lightning, or in the Pacific, the Kraken, the Oilers, the Canucks, or the Sharks. So we've narrowed it down to 7 teams. It is probably a defenseman, possibly a goalie. How many guesses do I have before
You're at 4 right now. So if you want to tie the record, you get 2 and then a guess. But if you want to go for it, you get 1 more question, and then you got to try and figure it out there.
Is this player 29 years old or older?
No.
Okay, so they're 28 or younger on a blue-colored team in the Pacific or Atlantic, and they're probably a defenseman, possibly a goalie. And I can ask, this would have to be my guess to set the record.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to set the record, right? You want to set the record. So I think I'm going to go for it.
You could also just tie it and stick around, and just, it's up to you. Whatever you want to go with it. This would be insane if you somehow get this in 6 out of all the players.
I am going to go with a player on the Vancouver Canucks. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to double check this guy's age before I sound really stupid. Oh, he's 29. I've been freaking had. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, good thing you double checked.
Yeah. Usually you give me a 1 to 10. Do you want to give me a 1 to 10 on how hard this player is?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm assuming you were thinking Philip Hronek.
That was kind of my next guess that I was now thinking of. I was originally going to say Thatcher Demko, but he's 29.
You were going to go the goalie route.
I was going to go goalie.
1 to 10. So 10 being like it's pretty easy, 1 being hard.
Like 10 would be like, a McDavid, a Quinn Hughes, and one would be Jimmy Schultz.
I'm gonna go
Holy
with
crap, that guy's not real.
4.5.
Okay, so it's got to be
4,
more of a depth
4.5.
guy.
Okay, 5. 5. We'll just say 5. Right in the middle, 5.
Okay. Probably somewhere in the middle of the lineup. Could be a lesser known starting goalie, or maybe a good backup or something. I've already, you know what? I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna commit to the. I was gonna say I'm gonna commit to the Canucks here, but I'm actually not seeing any players that I think would be close to a 5. Like they're either Quinn Hughes is too much, and then all these guys are too old, or they'd be like a 2 or lower. I don't know about any of these guys. The defenseman Elias Pettersson is 21. Oh, right, because they have Marcus Pettersson and Elias Pettersson.
Yeah, they got a lot of.
What a confusing team.
All right, so where
right.
are we at here? What do
Yeah.
you
All right.
you're thinking?
I'm going to pivot off the Canucks because I don't see anybody who fits the description I'm going for.
Okay.
So I'm going back to the Atlantic. Let's go
Going back to the Atlantic.
The Sabres. Hold on. Actually, let's go to the Leafs. I have one player in mind. Is he in the age range? I am looking for Brandon Carlo's age. He is 28.
28.
He's 28.
Doesn't fit the mold.
He doesn't? I thought the player was 28 or younger.
You asked is the player 28 or older, didn't you?
I asked 29 or older.
Oh, 29. Oh, okay.
You've given me free information. I know they're
Ah,
28 or younger. Or no.
28 or younger.
You thought I asked 28 or older.
I thought you I
So
thought you did ask 28.
So I know now that it's 27 or younger.
This is what he does. He throws these little things in here and he gets me
I'm
off my
grinding
game.
them down.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to.
I've got my answer.
Keep my thoughts to myself.
I don't need you to because I've already seen it. This guy is a perfect 5 out of 10. From the Buffalo Sabres, I am guessing Bowen Byram.
This player does play on Buffalo. He is not a goalie. He is a defenseman on the Buffalo Sabres. He's fucking flying here. But it is not.
Oh, no, there goes the camera.
Oh, fuck. It's because of this fly, man. It is not Bowen Byram.
Oh, is that Kesselring?
No, it's Owen Power.
Owen Power. You know what? 5's probably good for him.
Yeah,
I was thinking maybe he would be a little bit higher just because he's a former first overall pick, but
yeah,
it's hard to gauge.
Yeah, because I was like, Darlene's obviously like a 10, but then I was like,
yeah,
when you're between like Bowen Byram and Owen Power, I'm like, they're kind of feel like in that same range, so I didn't quite know.
Yeah, I might have put Power a little bit higher, but Bowen Byram is so solidly a 5. I was like, yeah, I got to go with him. He seems like the perfect guy who's middle of the.
You're right in there, though.
Yeah,
you were right in there.
Was
considering
right in there.
You had what? You had 5 questions, and you flopped it on your first 2.
I whiffed the first 2, finding the division.
You still ended up with the right position, the right team.
I wonder if I need to stop asking about the division early on and just go for things like, do they have blue in the primary color? Do they have red?
It also helps when you ask stuff with the contract, like their AAV, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Has definitely helped you in the past. So unfortunately, you didn't win today, but it was a very good showing, and I don't think anyone can blame you.
On cap wages, I was one guy off.
And because you went for it all. You wanted to set the record. You left it all. You laid it all on the line.
I did lay it on the line.
So, and
How cool is
I think
that?
we got to respect that. But unfortunately, it is that time that everybody hates. We are at the end of the episode here.
No.
Um, I know, right? But thankfully for everyone, if you enjoy the podcast, if you like listening to us, you like hanging out with us, you can do so on Saturday, because I guess that's apparently when the top 50
Yes,
players
sir.
list is coming out. So you will get the podcast on the Friday here. You will get the exclusive YouTube video on Saturday, and then we're back next week. So all is well, all is good. It is Halloween weekend, so hopefully everybody enjoys the spooky season. I know
And
we
enjoy the
will.
World
Well,
Series if you're watching that. It's been
yeah,
very good so far.
a very good chance we could be talking about the Jays being World Series champs by next episode. How cool would that be?
Be very fun
CFL
to
playoffs
take America's
are coming up.
pastime.
Yeah,
Take the
CFL
championship
playoffs
for
are
it.
coming up soon as well. Here, Saskatchewan Roughriders are in the mix, which we're always very excited for. So a lot of good stuff coming up here. A lot of good hockey coming up as well. A lot of games on the go today. So by next week we'll have lots to talk about. But it's gonna be a nice, fun
Absolutely.
weekend. Nice, relaxing, and yeah, I will throw it to Braden one final time for your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. The Pittsburgh Penguins are showing that they're legit. They had a couple down years, but the retool is over. They have Justin Brazeau and they are ready to contend again. So get
Brazo's been
prepared.
pretty good.
Get prepared to see the Penguins in the playoffs with Crosby at least one last time.
One last time. Yeah, I like it. I'm on board. Um, but that is it for this episode. Hope y'all enjoyed as usual. And as always, we will see all of you lovely people out on the ice next week.